Every morning, you open the fridge and feel reassured. Yogurt is still fresh, fruit already washed, bread neatly stored in the cooler. It feels like everything is ready for a healthy day. But have you ever felt tired after eating? Limp arms and legs, slight bloating, or even dull pain some mornings? You may think it's just aging or poor nutrition. The truth might be very different, seniors. Some foods, when stored improperly in the fridge, quietly become muscle wreckers. No sound, no strange smell. Yet they silently disrupt digestion, weaken muscles, cause inflammation, and make you more prone to falls each week. Don't believe it? A soft slice of bread with microscopic mold. An egg that absorbed fridge odors. A bunch of veggies left damp in a plastic bag. They won't kill you instantly, but day by day, they silently drag your health downhill without warning. You don't need to throw out your whole fridge. You just need to know 9 familiar foods, but millions of seniors store them wrong every day. And with just a few simple changes, you'll notice. Why'd heavy checkmark a lighter body? Why'd heavy checkmark a calmer stomach? Why'd heavy checkmark and especially better muscle recovery, helping you stand steady, sleep well, and feel less sore after every meal. Especially at the end of this video, you'll discover the one item almost everyone thinks: wash it first to stay clean. But that habit invites muscle-damaging bacteria every morning. Don't miss it, because that small misunderstanding could be the start of long-term weakness. Food number 1. Bread in the fridge, thoughtful choice, but harming seniors' muscles. Do you store bread in the fridge to keep it longer? Many seniors do, thinking cold means clean, safe, and preserved. But the truth isn't that simple. When kept in the fridge's cold and humid air, bread quickly undergoes starch retrogradation, a process that makes it dry on the outside, but silently moldy inside. This type of mold has no smell, no obvious color. You might eat it without knowing. But once inside your body, it causes low-grade inflammation, weakening your immune system and slowing muscle regeneration. Especially for seniors, with weaker digestion and slower liver-kidney filtering, the damage builds up day by day. I remember Helen, 74, lives alone, very meticulous. She said, "I always kept my bread in the fridge. Thought it was cleaner that way. But lately I've been bloated and felt dull stomach pain after breakfast. I thought it was just aging." After a nutrition checkup, her doctor advised switching to fresh whole grain bread, used within 2 days and not stored in the fridge. Just 1 week later, the bloating vanished. She stood up faster and felt less knee pain at the supermarket. Turns out it was just the wrong bread habit, she laughed. Simple solution for seniors. Buy small whole grain bread, finish within 1 to 2 days. Store outside the fridge, in an airtight box, in a dry, cool place. If storing longer, freeze it, and only take out a slice when needed. Toast before eating. Bread is just the beginning. Because another food, eaten daily by many seniors for health, becomes a hidden bacteria nest when stored wrong. Backhand index pointing right, let's discover. Food number 2. Raw eggs in the fridge. When your fridge becomes a muscle-harming bacteria trap. Eggs are a wonderful source of nutrition, affordable, convenient, and rich in protein for seniors. But because they're so valuable, they must be stored properly, or the benefits turn into risks. Many people buy eggs, wash them, and put them straight into the fridge. Sounds clean, but this is actually a very common mistake. Magnifying glass tilted left. Why is washing eggs before refrigerating dangerous? Eggshells have a natural thin membrane, a barrier that keeps bacteria out. When you wash the eggs, that protective layer is rinsed away. Then in the cold, humid fridge environment, bacteria from the air or nearby foods can easily enter the egg through the shell. Especially Salmonella, a bacteria that causes gut inflammation, diarrhea, and poor nutrient absorption, already a concern for seniors. You think you're eating a healthy egg, but maybe letting a silent inflamer into your body. Silent gut inflammation, poor protein absorption, weaker muscles, slower recovery, higher fall risk. Mr. Charles, 68, former librarian. Still very careful. I always wash eggs and refrigerate them right away to avoid bacteria. One time, he had lingering digestive trouble. No severe pain, just bloating, fatigue, and sore muscles after light exercise. His granddaughter, a nutrition student, came home and checked the fridge. She found the cold, wet egg tray sitting next to an open box of leafy greens. She explained, "Grandpa, washing eggs like this makes it easy for bacteria to get in. It's safer to leave them dry and unwashed, store them separately." After changing his habit, his digestion improved, and more importantly, he felt stronger during physical therapy. White heavy checkmark, proper egg storage for seniors. Never wash eggs before putting them in the fridge. Keep them in their original paper carton, on a separate shelf, far from raw foods. If dirty, wipe with a dry paper towel. Only wash just before cooking, not before storing. And, just like eggs, this next item also needs careful storage in the fridge. If not, your body, especially your muscles, will be the first to suffer. Food number 3. Yogurt kept too long. Good bacteria fade before bad ones take over. Just like eggs, this food also needs to be stored properly in the fridge. If not, your body, especially your muscles, will be the first to suffer. Yogurt has long been a national favorite among seniors. Its mild tang and cooling taste, great for digestion, rich in probiotics, easy to pair after meals. But few realize, when yogurt is stored too long, or stored the wrong way, it's no longer a friend to your gut, but a silent troublemaker. Test 2. What happens when yogurt is kept too long? The probiotics in yogurt are sensitive to temperature, light, and milk freshness. When stored past the recommended date, even before the printed expiry, or placed in the fridge door, where temps fluctuate, the probiotic count gradually drops. Worse, if the yogurt is opened and loosely covered, bacteria from nearby raw foods can drift in and grow. You eat yogurt thinking it's healthy, but it causes bloating, digestive issues, and poor protein absorption, a key reason muscles weaken in older adults. Mrs. Eleanor, 74, used to eat yogurt daily after lunch for digestion. But lately she felt tired, had mild diarrhea after meals, and gradually lost strength while walking. She blamed aging, until her son checked the fridge and found opened yogurt cups from 5 days ago, lightly covered with plastic lids. After making changes, only eating sealed yogurt, storing it in the fridge's middle shelf, and tossing any open for over 2 to 3 days, her digestion improved noticeably. More importantly, her leg and arm strength recovered faster after light workouts. Why have a checkmark yogurt storage tips for seniors? Avoid yogurt open for more than 2 days, even if it smells fine. Store in the middle fridge shelf for degree C, not on the door or near the freezer. Use clean, dry spoons each time, never wet or reused spoons. Choose unsweetened yogurt with minimal additives and pair with fresh fruit to boost natural probiotics. Keeping yogurt fresh means keeping your gut healthy, and that's the foundation for strong muscles. But there's another food, seen as a superfood, that's often eaten the wrong way, making seniors lose muscle even while trying to gain it. It's a familiar breakfast dish, considered a great source of protein, but how it's cooked determines whether it makes you stronger or weaker. Food number 4, cold cuts and sausages, fast protein that quietly steals your muscle. Storing yogurt properly helps your digestion. That's a vital first step. But if you think having protein alone will rebuild muscle, be careful with fast protein like cold cuts and sausages. Sandwich cold cuts, convenient, but high risk for those over 60. Many seniors choose ham, sausage, or deli meat for an easy breakfast. Easy to store, just grab from the fridge and pair with bread or salad. But what's the reality? These processed meats offer very little real protein and are full of harmful compounds like nitrates, preservatives, and saturated fats. These silently inflame your body, damage muscle tissue, and impair muscle repair after 60. Chart increasing true story of Mr. Raymond, 70, who thought he had a high-protein breakfast every day. Mr. Raymond, a retired accountant, followed his own version of smart eating. Breakfast was a slice of sandwich bread, 2 slices of cold cuts, and a bit of cheese. He believed he was giving his muscles what they needed. But within just a year of retirement, he felt weaker legs, shaky knees, and had to hold a chair to stand up. His son, a fitness trainer, helped log his meals and discovered he was only getting 30 to 40% of his protein needs from quality sources, while his sodium and preservative intake exceeded safe daily levels. After 1 month of switching to boiled chicken breast, grilled salmon, and hard-boiled eggs, cutting cold cuts entirely, he could stand with ease again and sleep soundly. Why should seniors limit cold cuts and sausages? Nitrates and nitrites damage blood vessels and muscle tissue. High sodium causes fluid retention and high blood pressure, reducing blood flow to muscles. Processed protein is harder to absorb than fresh meat. When not stored properly, these meats easily grow harmful bacteria, especially after the pack is opened. White heavy checkmark expert advice for seniors. Replace cold cuts with fresh protein, hard-boiled eggs, chicken breast, salmon, or tofu. If you still want to eat them, limit to once a week, and choose nitrate-free, preservative-free options. Once opened, use within 2 days and store sealed in the fridge, away from raw veggies. You see, it's not just about having protein for your muscles. How you choose it, store it, and combine it all determine whether you're building strength or quietly losing it. And one of the next foods, soft, sweet, and seemingly nourishing, can turn harmful if placed in the wrong fridge spot. Backhand index pointing right, that's fruit, and many seniors are making a common mistake when storing it each week. Food number 5, cold fruit, a natural sweet treat often misplaced in seniors' fridges. Fruit, soft, sweet, easy to digest, and rich in vitamins. Sounds like the perfect food for older adults. But when stored the wrong way, it can become a breeding ground for invisible bacteria and mold, directly affecting digestion and leaving your muscles malnourished every day. Red apple common mistake. Ripe fruit stored with raw veggies, left unwrapped, or placed too close to the freezer. Many seniors buy ripe fruit in bulk, keep them in mesh bags, and toss them straight into the fridge. Fruits like bananas, mangoes, and pears, when placed next to unwashed or soil-covered vegetables, are prone to bacterial cross-contamination. Worse, if stored too close to the freezer section, fruit cells can burst, release moisture, and create the perfect mold-friendly environment. The result? You think you're eating something healthy, but instead you're ingesting bacteria that disrupt digestion, impair vitamin and protein absorption, and slow down muscle recovery after movement. Old woman story of Mrs. Dolores, 76, who had stomach issues every time she ate clean fruit from the fridge. Mrs. Dolores often ate fruit after dinner, especially grapes, apples, and papaya. Even though she always bought organic and washed them well, she often felt bloated, queasy, and had mild diarrhea the next morning. After her daughter checked the fridge, they found fruit mixed with raw vegetables, placed near the freezer, with the peel showing signs of freezer burn, unwrapped after cutting or peeling. They made immediate changes, sorted fruits separately, wrapped them in food wrap or airtight boxes, stored in the middle fridge shelf, far from raw items. Within a week, Mrs. Dolores felt better after eating, digestion improved, and she no longer felt fatigued in the mornings after fruit. Pushpin key fruit storage tips for seniors. Never keep cut fruit for more than 1 day, even if covered. Store in airtight containers, away from raw or unwashed produce. Don't place near the freezer to avoid cold shock and quick spoilage. Water-rich fruits like watermelon, pineapple, and papaya should be eaten right after cutting, not stored. But just enough for 2 to 3 days. Avoid stocking up too much. Fruit is great, but only when it's stored right, kept clean, and eaten at the right time. Otherwise, you're feeding bacteria along with your body. And the next item, which seems absolutely safe, may in fact be a frozen trap if kept too long or improperly sealed. Backhand index pointing right. Let's move on to the next. Food number 6, meat frozen too long. when protein turns toxic without seniors realizing it. Food number 6, meat frozen too long, from protein source to toxic trap, harming seniors' muscles. You think freezing meat is a smart and convenient way to save? You're not wrong. But if meat stays in the freezer too long, without labels, without proper wrapping, that backup protein silently loses nutrients, builds up toxins, and damages the muscles you're trying to protect every day. Cut meat long frozen meat equals less protein plus more muscle-harming oxidants. After 3 to 4 weeks in the freezer, especially without vacuum sealing or tight wrapping, meat starts to lose bioactive protein, harder for your body to absorb. Increase fat oxidation, forming compounds that harm the liver, kidneys, and muscle tissue. Suffer freezer burn, making the meat dry, tough, hard to digest, and poorly absorbed. Chart decreasing true story from Mr. Walter, 74, trying to save money but losing muscle strength. Mr. Walter lived alone after his wife passed, so he often bought meat in bulk, divided it into small bags, and froze them. One day, he used a bag of beef that had been in his freezer for over 3 months. It cooked fine, tasted fine, but after eating, he felt bloated, fatigued for days, and couldn't sleep, without knowing why. Doctors found no major illness, but when a nutritionist visited his home, they discovered over half the frozen meat in his freezer had exceeded safe storage time. After tossing all frozen meat older than a month and replacing it with fresh or recently frozen cuts, under 2 weeks, Mr. Walter reported better digestion, less stomach heaviness, and most importantly, less joint pain and morning muscle stiffness. Pushpin safe frozen meat tips for seniors. Label every bag with the freeze date. Don't store red meat for over 1 month, poultry for 2 to 3 weeks max. Use vacuum-sealed bags or tightly wrap with cling film plus zip bag. Never refreeze after thawing. Once thawed, cook thoroughly and eat right away. Meat is protein, but not all protein still nourishes muscle. When stored wrong, meat loses its value and becomes a burden to the liver, kidneys, and weak muscle tissues. And the next food, which seems light and refreshing, could actually harm seniors' digestion if eaten at the wrong time. Backhand index pointing right. Let's move on to the next. Food number 7, cold veggies, soothing or silently upsetting senior stomachs. Food number 7, boiled veggies eaten cold, a healthy dish that may upset seniors' digestion. Many seniors enjoy cold boiled vegetables. They feel light, refreshing, and easy to digest. But did you know? Veggies left cold too long or reheated multiple times can turn this seemingly healthy food into a cause of bloating, indigestion, and even gut damage. Broccoli. Why can cold veggies do more harm than good? After boiling, vegetables left at room temperature for over 2 hours begin to lose vitamin C and B complex, nutrients that are heat and oxygen sensitive. Build up nitrates, especially in leafy greens like spinach, cabbage, and morning glory. When nitrates interact with gut bacteria, they can convert into nitrites, compounds that disturb digestion, cause fatigue, and interfere with nutrient absorption in seniors. Especially if boiled veggies are refrigerated overnight, then reheated multiple times, you're eating food that has lost most of its value and adds stress to your stomach and liver. Old woman story of Mrs. Ruth, 70, who loved her light breakfast with cold veggies. Mrs. Ruth often ate cold rice with leftover boiled veggies in the morning, believing it was gentle and good for aging. But recently, she experienced frequent bloating, irregular bowel movements, and loss of appetite. Her son, a nurse, reviewed her meals and found veggies stored in the fridge for 2 to 3 days, reheated repeatedly. No protein included in breakfast. Almost no healthy fats to help nutrient absorption. After switching to freshly boiled veggies each morning, with a bit of egg or yogurt, she began eating more enjoyably, felt lighter, and no longer had lingering stomach aches. Pushpin key tips for seniors eating cold boiled veggies. Never leave boiled veggies out for more than 2 hours. If refrigerated, only reheat once. and consume within 24 hours. Avoid veggies that feel slimy, discolored, or smell off. When reheating, bring quickly to a boil. Don't let them stay lukewarm. Prefer cooking just enough veggies for the day and pair with light protein like egg or tofu. Veggies are healthy, but only when fresh, new, and combined wisely. Because for seniors, a light meal shouldn't mean missing essential nutrients. And now, it's time to talk about an invisible culprit in the fridge, something not quite food, but used daily. Backhand index pointing right, that is. Ice cubes, the hidden cause of gut chills, muscle tension, and poor circulation in seniors. Food number 8. Ice cubes, the invisible culprit that weakens digestion, tightens vessels, and harms muscles in seniors. A glass of cold water on a hot afternoon. A cup of tea with a few ice cubes to make it go down easier. Sounds refreshing, doesn't it, seniors? But those harmless-looking ice cubes can silently trigger a chain of reactions in the aging body, especially in your digestion and muscles, which are already growing more fragile by the day. Ice cube, why can ice be harmful for seniors? When you drink iced water, especially in the morning or on an empty stomach, your body reacts as follows. Sudden vessel constriction, reduced circulation to arms, legs, and muscles. Stomach contracts, lowers digestive enzyme output, causes bloating and indigestion. Chills the gut, especially in those with weak digestion or conditions like colitis. Not to mention, old ice trays, if not cleaned regularly, may contain bacteria or residue, especially in older freezer compartments. Old man Mr. Gerald, 72, once thought ice was just frozen water. Mr. Gerald loved iced tea every noon after gardening. Cool, refreshing, a heat relief. But lately, he began noticing cold hands and feet lasting longer, even in hot weather. Bloating and discomfort after meals. Mild dizziness when standing up too fast. Doctors found no clear illness, but when a nutritionist checked his fridge, they found a dirty, old ice tray that he'd been using daily without replacing. After switching to warm water with slices of ginger or lemon, Mr. Gerald felt warmer in the stomach, digestion improved, and the leg cramps disappeared. Pushpin cold drink / ice tips for seniors. Avoid drinking ice water on an empty stomach or right after waking. Don't drink iced water after meals. It can harden fats and hinder digestion. Only use ice from clean, filtered water. Replace trays at least once a week. Prefer warm water, 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, in the morning and evening. Add ginger, lemon, or mint for natural cooling without dropping internal temperature. 1 small ice cube, meant to cool you down, but used at the wrong time, in the wrong way, it can chill your body from the inside out. And that chill doesn't just come from ice. There's something quietly sitting in your fridge, often ignored, yet capable of destroying the nutritional structure of your food. Backhand index pointing right, let's move on to part 9. The most dangerous spot in the fridge where 90% of seniors misplace their food every single day. The fridge door, a handy spot, but the most dangerous place for perishable foods. Where do you store your eggs? Milk? Juice bottles? Sauce jars? Leftovers? If your answer is on the fridge door, you're not alone. 90% of seniors do this every day. But did you know? The fridge door has the highest temperature fluctuation, making it the least safe place for perishable foods. Thermometer, why is the fridge door a danger zone? Every time you open the fridge, the door is hit directly by warm outside air, sudden temperature changes. It's the warmest spot in the whole fridge, usually around 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, while the ideal cooling zone is 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. For eggs, milk, juice, cooked food, these shifts let bacteria grow faster, shortening their safe usage time without you even realizing it. Woman Mrs. Joanne, 69, used to think, if it's in the fridge, it's safe. Mrs. Joanne was very careful. Anything unfinished went into the fridge. But she had a habit of placing eggs in the door shelf, easy to grab. Half-finished porridge in the door tray too. After eating leftover porridge one day, she had stomach pain and mild diarrhea for 2 days. She thought it was the weather, but doctors found mild foodborne bacteria caused by unstable fridge temps. Once she moved her eggs, milk, and leftovers to the middle shelf, the most stable zone, she stopped having digestive issues. She felt stronger and enjoyed food again. Pushpin tips for seniors when organizing the fridge. Eggs, milk, and leftovers. Always store on the middle shelf, the coldest, most stable spot. The fridge door should only hold condiments. Opened items with low spoil risk like soy sauce, ketchup. Leftovers should be in airtight containers, away from raw meat or veggies. Label with the storage date. Use within 1 to 2 days max. Proper storage doesn't just keep food fresh. It protects your health, your safety, and turns every meal into a chance to rebuild strength. But we'd be missing something important if we didn't mention the invisible mistake that ruins nutrients every day. Backhand index pointing right, that is, letting food breathe, a habit that spoils food and drains nutrition, especially for seniors with sensitive digestion. Letting food breathe, a mistake that invites bacteria, evaporates nutrients, and leaves muscles with nothing to recover. Many seniors have this familiar habit. Leftovers? Just loosely cover them. Let them breathe a bit. Sounds harmless, right? But in truth, that habit of letting food breathe is a hidden trap, causing nutrients to fade, bacteria to invade, and your body to bear the silent cost after every meal. Spoon, why is uncovered food in the fridge risky for seniors? Bacteria multiply rapidly when food is exposed to cold, moist air, especially gut bacteria like E. coli and salmonella. Smells from raw meat, fish, and veggies can mix into cooked food, even if you can't see it. Cold, dry air causes water-soluble vitamins like C and B to evaporate quickly, up to 40% lost in just 1 to 2 days without a proper seal. This is especially serious for seniors, whose muscles depend on every bit of protein and micronutrients to maintain strength. Older adult Mr. Charles, 75, once thought sealing too tightly makes food lose its flavor. He often stored half-finished soup or a cut papaya in the fridge, covered only with an upside-down plate. After some time, he began to notice frequent stomach noises and bloating, even after small meals. After eating old leftovers for a few days, he experienced mild diarrhea, felt sluggish and dizzy. Doctors couldn't find any acute illness, but a nutritionist looked into his habits and found most of the food in his fridge wasn't properly covered. Once he switched to using lidded containers and wrapping food carefully, his digestive issues disappeared. He felt stronger, slept better, and recovered more smoothly after physical therapy. Pushpin proper food storage tips for seniors. Cooked food. Always store in containers with tight lids or wrap with food-safe film. Cut vegetables. Wrap tightly with damp paper towels. Avoid long air exposure. Never let food come into direct contact with raw meat, fish, or raw eggs. If using plastic wrap, choose BPA-free types and seal closely to the food surface. Label the storage date. Don't keep leftovers for more than 2 to 3 days. You see? Just one lid, one thin layer of wrap, can preserve not only freshness, but also the life and energy your muscles need each day. Seniors. But even if you've stored everything right, there's still one factor most people overlook: how you thaw your food. It sounds minor, but if done wrong, it doesn't just lose nutrients, it can increase hidden toxins in foods you thought were healthy. Improper thawing. The hidden saboteur ruining seniors' meals. Your fridge is meant to protect your food, but the moment you take it out to thaw, that protection can turn into a danger if you do it the wrong way. Many seniors use common thawing methods, leaving fish or meat on the counter to thaw naturally, pouring hot water over frozen meat, or tossing it in the microwave on any random setting. But did you know? When frozen food thaws at room temperature, bacteria can double every 20 minutes. You don't see it. You don't smell it. But that seemingly healthy meal becomes a hidden trap for food poisoning. Old man Mr. Thomas, 76, living alone, was once hospitalized after a meal of thawed frozen fish. He thawed the fish simply by leaving it on the kitchen table for 2 hours. It thawed evenly, smelled delicious as it cooked. But that night, he vomited, had diarrhea, and collapsed from fatigue. The hospital diagnosed salmonella infection caused by improper thawing. It didn't just upset his digestion. He lost 2 kilograms of muscle in just 1 week. Since learning safe thawing methods, he said, just one small change, and my body felt noticeably stronger. Pushpin safe and effective thawing tips for seniors. Best method, thaw in the fridge overnight. Keeping food at 4 degrees Celsius slows bacteria growth. If you need it faster, use a sealed zip bag, submerge in cold water, and change the water every 30 minutes. Using a microwave, choose the correct defrost setting by weight, and cook immediately after thawing. Never thaw at room temperature, even on cool days. Never refreeze thawed food. It raises the risk of cross-contamination. One small step, yet it determines the quality of your meal. Thaw correctly. Your body absorbs all the nutrients. Thaw incorrectly, and seniors risk diarrhea, infection, and muscle loss. And now, you've nearly mastered the full set of food safety habits for staying strong and healthy after 60. Backhand index pointing right. But to truly wrap up this journey, there's one core reminder worth repeating. It's your mindset that matters most. It's not just about keeping your fridge clean, it's about keeping yourself full of life, living with strength, independence, and the power to thrive for many more years to come. Your fridge is your pharmacy if you know what to keep and how to keep it. You see, seniors, we don't need a lab. We don't need expensive medicine. All we need is a fridge and the wisdom to use it right. Every slice of egg, every cup of yogurt, every apple in your fridge. When chosen wisely, stored properly, and thawed correctly, they become natural medicine that nourishes your muscles and your vitality every single day. But the opposite is also true. A food that seems healthy, if eaten cold the wrong way, left uncovered, or poorly thawed, can lead to bloating, weakness, and fatigue, all from something hiding inside your fridge. Direct it today, you've learned. Bread stored too long loses value for your muscles. Eggs, easily spoiled if kept in the wrong fridge spot. Yogurt, full of probiotics but turns harmful if it absorbs fridge odors. Cold cuts, packed with salt, silently weakening muscles if eaten too often. Cut fruit, looks refreshing, but becomes a home for hidden bacteria. Ice cubes, not always clean, may carry invisible risks. Cold veggies, lose vitamins when reheated again and again. Unsealed food, lets precious nutrients escape. Improper thawing, opens the door to bacterial attacks in your meals. Older adult, and most importantly, you can change all of this, starting tomorrow morning. No need for a new fridge. No need for expensive food. Just a little more care, a bit more attention, a little more love for your own body. Your body has walked with you for decades, through fatigue, through storms. Now is the time to give it the protection it deserves. Why heavy checkmark act today? Open your fridge. Check for anything left uncovered, half-cut, or poorly thawed. Start labeling storage dates. Tidy up your fridge like you're tidying up your health. And remember, share this video with the seniors you love. Because strength doesn't come from something big. It comes from small habits, done with care and with love. Backhand index pointing right. You deserve to live strong, stay in control, and never fear your fridge again. Instead, use it as your most trusted health partner.